Hello everyone. I am Dr. G. Venkatesan and welcome to this course on disaster risk reduction and management offered through the NPTEL-SWAYAM platform. Disaster, both natural and man-made, have been increasingly affected our lives, economics and environment. This course is designed to equip you with the essential knowledge, tools and strategies to reduce risk and build resilience against disaster. Over the next 15 weeks, we will dive deep into various aspects of disaster management, covering both theoretical as well as the practical component. This course is structured systematically, ensuring that you gain a thorough understanding of disaster risk reduction concept and their real world application. Let me take you through what you can expect in this week of this course. So we can separate the 15 weeks. The week one, introduction to disaster risk reduction, like DRR. In the first week, we will start this with the basic. You will understand what disaster risk reduction or DRR means, why it is crucial, and how it has overload over the time. This module introduces key concepts such as hazards, vulnerability, capacities, and risk. By the end of this week, you will have a solid foundation for understanding the scope and significance of disaster risk reduction. Coming to week two, the basic principles of DRR. In the second week, we will build on the foundation laid in week one by exploring the principles of DRR. We will discuss key strategies like prevention, mitigation, preparedness, response, and recovery. You will also learn about the disaster risk management cycle and how it helps in systematic planning and decision making. Coming to week three, do's and don'ts during a disaster. In the week three, we focus on practical knowledge, what to do and what not to do during various disasters, whether it is an earthquake, flood, or the fire. Knowing the right action to take can mean the difference between a life and the death. This module will provide you with actionable tips and the guidelines to ensure your safety and the safety of those around you. Coming to week four, risk management and risk reduction. In week four, we will develop deeper into the concept of risk management and risk reduction. We will differentiate between the two discussed strategies of identifying, assessing, and mitigation risk. You will also learn how to prioritize resources and action to minimize the impact of disaster. Coming to week five, the technologies as the technology person, how we are going to deal in DRR. Like if we can divide it into 2 weeks, week five and then week six. The week five, we are going to deal about part one. In week five, we introduce the role of technology in disaster risk reduction. This include early warning system, satellite monitoring, and mobile application that aid in disaster preparedness and the response. You will learn how this technology helps save lives and reduce economic losses. While coming to part two, the technologies in DRR2, week 6, we are going to deal. So, week 6, the second part of this topic covered in week 6, explore advanced technologies like geographic information system like GIS, remote sensing, and artificial intelligence. This role provide deeper insight and more precise planning for disaster management. So in week 6, we are going to deal about the technology part 2. Then week 7, we are going to deal about the social and the political aspect of DRR. The disaster management is not just about technology. It is also about people and governance. In week 7, we will discuss the social and political dimension of DRR, including the role of communities, policies, and leadership in building resilience against the disaster. In week 8, we are going to deal about the health and related issues in disaster. In week 8, we focus on the health impact of disaster from handling injuries and managing mental health to preventing outbreak of diseases. This week highlight the critical role of healthcare system and professional during crisis. So up to 8 weeks, we are deal about the disaster, all those things. Then how it will be linked with the global and the locally. So the things we are going to deal on week 9, local and global impact of disaster. Disaster have both local and global consequence. In week 9, we will analyze how disaster affect the communities, economics and environment at both scales. We will also discuss how global cooperation play a key role in addressing large scale disaster. In week 8, we are going to deal about the disaster management structure like in two parts, like week 10 and then week 11. In part 1, we are going to deal about in week 10, introduce you to the organizational structure of disaster management at the district level. You will learn about the district's disaster management plan like DDMP and the role of local authorities in responding to emergencies. Why? Because there are local people only available in the nearby situation. So the emergency situation, we are deal only about the localized person. We are coming to part 2. In week 11, we are going to discuss about the second part. So the scale up to the state and the national level. You will understand the framework and the policies guiding disaster management, including the state disaster management plan and the role of agencies like the National Disaster Management Authority. In week 12, the communication and media in DRR. So the communication is a live planning during disaster. In week 12, we will explore how information is shared before, during, after disaster. From early warning to public awareness campaigns, effective communication can save life and reduce panic. So in week 13, the future careers in disaster management. Are you interested in a career in disaster management? In week 13, we will introduce the various opportunity in the field. So, from working with governmental agencies to the non-governmental agencies like NGOs and the international organization, you will also learn about the skill and the qualification needed for these roles. So, in week 14, the case studies and real life applications. So, week 14 bring everything together by examining real life cases studies of disaster and their management. We will discuss what went right, what went wrong, and the lesson learned from this event. So, week 15, we are going to discuss about the course review and the post course pathway, how it will be doing the post pathway in the final week. Okay, so we will review the key takeaway from the course and discuss your next steps, whether it is pursuing further studies or maybe applying the knowledge in your career or maybe becoming a proactive member of your community. So this module will guide you on how to use what you have learned effectively. So this will be category from week 1 to week 15. So final come to conclusion. Throughout this course, you will have access to engaging videos, assessment, quiz, and discussion forum to enhance your learning. By the end, you will not only understand the theory behind disaster risk reduction, but also be equipped to contribute meaningfully to disaster resilience in your community or maybe in your workplace. So this under we are going to deal about the disaster mitigation. We are going to prevent ourselves and our society. Thank you.